Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area. Gaza thing has not worked. It's never worked.
Yeah, I can't listen to no more of that. All that other shit I've been joking about, but this is a truly fuck around and find out moment. All Arabs and Palestinians and other cultures that voted for this man, I keep having people come up to me and say, how can he do this? How can he do this? No other president wanted to destroy their legacy or this country like he has. As a matter of fact, even if you look at a lot of racists from the past and racist presidents, they wanted their perfect country for their perfect race. They wouldn't have did none of this shit. So I'm going to turn this phone around and talk to y'all for a little minute because this is fucking wild. This is the president they were saying is anti-war. I told y'all he dropped more bombs in his 4 years than Obama's 8. And they was talking about Obama in Syria, but Obama was stopping Syrian terrorists from burning people alive with chemicals. So here we go. Yo, I'm usually the first to enjoy a fuck around and find out moment, especially when people are boldly ignorant and bold in their stupidity. But this shit ain't funny, man. This shit is not funny at all. Trump said he finna level Gaza and turn it into a reservoir. If you watch these videos, Netanyahu got the biggest smile on his face. Biden came up with a peace deal at the end there. He finally came up with that peace deal and it was finna stop being war. It was a celebration. And then y'all voted Trump into office. Trump. He said he finna make it a safe place for everybody and America's finna control it. This is every day. I sat up here and had to listen to Hispanics call Kamala indie blackie names. Palestinians and Arabs call Kamala names, call her out her name. And the fucked up part is, it's because she was black. Y'all keep saying, because remember, she went from, the Indian stuff came out of nowhere. Wasn't nobody talking about Kamala was Indian for her 4 years, none of that. Now all of a sudden, because she mixed with Indian, Hindu, whatever y'all call it, now y'all mocking her and calling her Hindu and Indian names. Y'all talking about Indians on streams, talking about they openly defecating all this other stuff y'all throwing at Hindus and Indian people. Man, y'all just can't get enough. She was talking about reparations, making a way for everybody. Now everybody's losing their benefits. Veterans. I didn't know veterans were DEI. I learned something new. Veterans' families, how they have care for the spouses and all that. Care packages, goodbye. How does he do executive orders? Well, can he be stopped? He has the Congress, the majority of the Congress. Well, why won't the judges, 6 out of the 9 judges are Republican and they're replacing more now? How does he? I have said over and over, people were screaming that this was happening, but nobody wanted to listen. This is a free country. You can't do that. Let me give you an algorithm. Let's say you live in a free country where everybody can have their own opinion. But then a snake of a man starts lying on camera and gets the judges to follow him, gets congressional lawmakers to follow him. So now the people that don't agree with him, there's not enough of them. It's called voting. You all voted all the Democrats out, and there wasn't even any Democrat options in the Illinois ballot. Only the president. Boy, open roads, water fountains, buses. That's all DEI, guys. Affirmative action, guys. Programs to help America. Why do you think America is so comforting? Because we have a luxurious way here for certain people. You know what else I found out? They're not just deporting people of Hispanic descent. All immigrants. You know how many people from Europe are getting on camera crying? I did not expect that. That's called a curveball. That's called an unknown variable. It happens at the moment. So something dude's finna level Gaza now. Y'all have no mercy. I heard this Gazanian woman talking about, I'm gonna look into all the programs to protect the immigrants. You know, hear what's happening right now? What programs? They took down the Spanish version of the federal government White House page. You know who's not really being affected by this? African Americans. You know why? We've been working. In the North, you've been had to work to get food stamps. This happened about 5-6 years ago, before Trump, back when Trump's whole term. You had to start working to get food stamps. I don't know why it wasn't spread throughout the rest of the world. It does seem kind of like slavery. They come up for certain people. But, you know, it's happened to a couple of my family members on the white side, too. So, you've been had to work. I'm seeing white people everywhere. This is not no racism shit. This is true. Seeing people who's on food stamps, SSI, CCRS, watching your kids, daycare, TANF, foods, TANF, money, Medicaid, all that. Getting letters in the mail. If you don't work, you're losing your food stamps and all your benefits. You start working, you lose your SSI. People was drawing $1,200 in SSI, $800 in food stamps. That's $2,000, 2 programs. I can't gauge medical. They could be getting all type of pills and medications and doctor's visits, all free, constantly, back to back to back. But I went and had a mass in my chest, and they told me I was having anxiety. There is a gap between the races in healthcare. I watch certain people go up there and say they're suicidal, say all kind of crazy shit. You got a little money, and you look the right type of way, they're going to give you everything they can. You're not the right type of person that throw you in van and involuntary or get you arrested. All these immigrants that they're detaining, when they find you because you were here illegally, or if they're taking your citizenship and taking you back, at the most, if they take you back, that's one thing, because you failed immigration. There's a difference between immigration and illegal aliens. I think people don't really do too much research and they listen to everything they hear on TV. People who are here illegally, let me tell you something about the Constitution. There's a law in there. If you're a criminal in this country, you can work, if you're a criminal in this country, you will work for free. It's a law. All these African Americans that was going to prison, you don't see them working in these prisons trying to get good time and going through education processes to get out faster. They can do that to all these immigrants. I don't know the exact term, but this is what I call it. Stale waters. They can put you in a prison and your trial won't be for 10 years. They say a speedy trial. There have been people that have been lost in Statesville. Okay, okay, fuck. Tinnitus. Ignore that. That was tinnitus. The correctional facility is dealt with by private prisons, which means every person that gets locked up, the federal government pays for that person. Bye-bye. That's DEI. That's a federal program. But will they get rid of that? See, what's about to happen to Palestinians and a whole bunch of people of color and immigrants and stuff? Because y'all are people of color, I guess. They put Caucasian, I promise you, when advancements happen, but when y'all are criminals, you see Luigi was a mixed man on the news. I thought Italy was Spain, because I could give you some history. They were of African descent. They've been going up through that strait, I think it's called Morocco or something like that, for thousands of years. Thousands of years. Then you have the Greeks, who are Africans and Asians kind of mixed. They got that curly hair and all the statues, but they made them pearly white. Then you have the Romans, who are a little bit more Syrian. I don't like saying Syrian, but because when you look at certain countries, like Romania, and they speak Italian, right? Those Romance languages. You look up by the Dutch and those countries, they're Lithuania and all that. Yeah, those are Hispanic. Those are Spanish. But where does the word Spanish come from? Where does the word Rican come from? You know, Puerto Ricans are basically Cubans, so they're labeled as Africans. So there's a whole lot of history people don't know about. The Neanderthal died out a long time ago when people were mixing with Asians and started to create a lighter skin color. But people don't seem to understand that, and they play with this racist shit. I had a friend tell me a long time ago, Juan, you're a lot smarter than other black people. He was like, usually, you know, and I asked him, I said, are white people smarter than black people? And he said, yeah, from what I can tell and what I see, yes. I was like, ooh-wee. Now, did I hate him or anything? No, he just gave me information. I gathered knowledge. I know he don't hate me. A lot of times when y'all deal with a lot of, like, there's something called Hamel talk. A lot of African-American people are teaching people for free. Beautiful, brilliant. That scares me for a couple reasons, and I'm gonna explain why. There's this girl crying on camera. She's like, "You can't feed the homeless." My parents fucked around and found out a long time ago, and this was the beginning of my journey in learning about licensing and learning about lawsuits and what you can do in this country. We had a candy shop. We would go to Chicago, get a bunch of stuff that wasn't here, and bring it back. Bussing in the neighborhood. That shit was bussing. You know what I'm saying? So all of a sudden, the police came one day. A couple of Karens. I'm not trying to be funny, but it was a housing apartment complex, and there was 3 white families that lived there. One of the white families called the cops on us. So, and they give the police report. They tell you stuff. So we had to shut it down. Whatever, all that stuff. But then I started to realize you can't sell stuff here. I don't know why people kept saying sell stuff and cut grass and da. You can actually go to jail for doing some of those things. I bet you didn't know that. So when time goes by, I started working at a corporation. They sell chicken. They're famous for chicken. I'm not going to say their name, but they're one of the most famous chicken people, and they just recently shut down a lot of these northern states. If you can see what I'm talking about, okay? So, F around and find out. I was told we couldn't give none of the chicken away at the end of the night. And I was like, what you mean? They was like, you could maybe pack some home and take some for yourself, but you can't give it to the homeless people. And there was a whole bunch that would go out. And I was like, the fuck? What's happening? People was getting sued because people would sometimes get sick. Food poisoning, okay? That shit happens, whatever. Well, it's illegal to give people food. You see these homeless videos? One of the ladies that do one of the videos, the police approached her and told her she couldn't give them hot dogs. I'm telling y'all, this country ain't no fucking joke. When you go homeless, I think your options are jail or dead. That's what they basically try to do. There's signs that literally say no loitering. And that happened back that was instituted for African Americans. And what happened was, this is back in the day though, and people be like, he's bringing that up again because they don't want to learn. They feel fire when I say these things, like the prophets, that burns. So then they ignore it, they repress it, and become NPCs for hatred. It's that simple. It's not magic. When you don't agree with something, it's hard to conform with that thing. I'm telling you it is. And that nonconformity turns into a hatred. Then groups are formed and masses are formed like cancer. And there then becomes cancerous behaviors within civilization. And that's what people have to be aware of. Because you'll see all these people labeled as terrorists, but not one time do you see cops or these Caucasian men who do terroristic shit sometimes ever get called terrorists. And it's infuriating. So back to the original point. A lot of people are about to be hindered now. And it wasn't African Americans this time, because I was watching another video and I looked it up. Out of the 7 demographics, disabilities, veterans, Caucasians, Hispanics, Asians fucked around and found out too because of one man. One man went to the Supreme Court, and remember the judges, they have more judges now that are Republican. Trump appointed 2 of them, or 3, when he was president. So what he did a layup, hit it off the backboard, came back 4 years later and slam dunked that motherfucker. Stop asking, well, how can he? It's not like the old way now. We've been warning y'all, but y'all want the India Kamala. It's infuriating, but it didn't affect African Americans, and I'm explaining why. The loitering thing happened after slavery. Once we can no longer be slaves no more, they wouldn't hire us. When they wouldn't hire us no more, we were just standing around. Then they created no loitering. It became a crime. Then when you could arrest them and charge them, look at the Bill of Rights. Not the Bill of Rights. Look at the Constitution. Once you're a criminal, you can do free labor. All men are free until they're locked up. So then they could have slaves again. Then Jim Crow came around. Stay off my stuff. Type shit. Okay, so now those no loitering laws affect everybody. Now we're not going to pay them because they're not human. Affects everybody. Now we're going to make them starve because they're not human. Affects everybody. but who was already living this lifestyle. When I was a child, our lights was off. We had candles all the time. We would read the Bibles and still do Bible study by candlelight. We still got to places, walked, took the bus. This one lady on stream just said she felt like she would get graped if she rode the bus. That is another level of privilege. In her mind, she is so above the bus system, she doesn't have to ride the buses. I felt a little heat this morning. I went to go get on the bus this morning after work. It never showed up. Don't know why. I called the transit. It's supposed to be there. It just 20 minutes. No. I called my stepdaughter and they picked me up. So this is what y'all wanted. Y'all wanted to take the whole load. Yeah, pay your own way. That's not what Americans are used to. But African Americans are. We're used to never getting a job because people say they have affirmative action covered already. We're used to being treated not human and told you can survive on $200 a month on food stamps. We're used to not having transportation and not having $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 to spend on a fucking linen. You know they'll do that? Sell you a piece of shit car that drives for 3-4 months. But there's laws to protect against that. Where's those laws going to be now? All these people in this country are starving to death, most of them. And this man is talking about he finna level Gaza and turn it into a reservoir so it can be a beautiful place. For who? The rich people. In my streams, I said they're going to level the place. And now watch, they're going to eventually move the Jewish people out the way. And it's going to be a place for the richies. Watch, see if they don't turn Israel into like the United States of corporations. Watch, it's going to be every Japanese, Chinese, the Dutch, the Arabs, the oil owners and all that, the rich Africans. They're going to be like, the poor people are going to be like, what about the pure race? You'll be like, you got any pure race money? Telling y'all how this works. It's just like the Hunger Games. Your color was used as a tool to manipulate you people into giving oligarchs more power. Now that they have the power, they don't care about your color. I promise you they don't. Because look at all the people that are Hindu and Indian descent and other colors and women picks that Trump just picked. Why doesn't it affect the African Americans? We've been hardworking and smart and intelligent. People try to railroad us. But now the train is out the way, and now that I can walk out the house, just like that dream, oh my goodness, I can see the world for what it is, and I've been a hard worker. When I first became a CNA, I was making $8.82 an hour. You wouldn't believe what I make now. Surviving comfortably. Now that I'm being paid appropriately after COVID and their need for healthcare and that being the most prioritized, my color doesn't matter. Thirsty for CNAs and nurses. So, what people do to others came back around. This is karma. This is what the Buddhists talk about a lot. Now you guys can see the Chinese religion come to fruition. But in actuality, I'd say a stem of ancient African religion, because if y'all read them laws of Mu'at, y'all haven't been listening. Egypt ain't so evil. Now I've been reading them laws and their religion. They respected the land and everything. It was a beautiful civilization. And now Egypt looks like a thirst trap. So that's all I'm saying. And another thing I want to say, so then Trump said the neighboring countries will take the Palestinians in so we can finish our construction. And from the Jordan and Egypt and all them. And they said, nope. What is happening? Did Allah, y'all keep talking about in y'all videos, Allah blesses those who help the meek and all this other stuff. Where? Show me. Because y'all, I don't even know. It's all propaganda, man, to make people believe in a tower so it can be built up and people can get rich from it. Same with Christianity. Same with Judaism. Same with all these other mainstream bullshits that'll sell you holy water on the TV and then put you in an institution if you tell them you hear God. So stay safe.